Hi there, I'm Sarah Louise. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about haters and people coming together in solidarity of hate over a thing or a person. And I think we've all seen it. And the truth is, none of us are perfect. I'm sure we have all in our lifetime jumped in on some comments and joined in on some disagreement or hatred over a central person or a thing. I doubt there's anybody or very few people that have never done this in their life. But this is never going to obviously lead to happiness and joy. And I just wanted to tell a little story about this, of seeing it play out from the outside, because I think it's a very important lesson. Often when we end up making connections, I mean, I don't think I've ever made connections through hate. Maybe I have. But when we make a connection through a hate of something rather than a love for something, things are always probably going to go downhill because there's a lot of hatred involved in it, obviously. And people are connecting through this means, but they actually probably have very little else in common, and they actually probably don't even like one another. And when that object gets removed, that's when they realize that. And I saw this play out in front of me because I was in a group. So there was a new site, and there was a private group, and I got invited to that private group. A lot of people didn't even know it existed. I didn't know it existed until I joined it. And what this group consisted of was just people bullying and laughing at the new people that were going to get help to join this new site. I didn't last very long in this group because I didn't want to join them. And that's the thing. If you don't want to join them, then you're excluded from the group, because the only reason really for this group, this sole conversation in this group, and the whole reason this group existed, was to hate new people and basically laugh at new people trying to get going on this site. So if you didn't want to, if I'd have joined them in their hate, I would have been kept in it. And because I didn't, the hate was turned to me for a period, right? Was what happened. I was booted and the hate was turned on to me. But what was interesting about this group, and the lesson in this story isn't that particularly, but what happened to this group. So eventually this group obviously had so much hatred that it just started turning on itself. And then once they didn't really have anybody to attack anymore, they just started attacking one another until there was a dissolution entirely of the group. First of all, it started splitting up and there was different groups. So the original group started to hate one another and split into smaller groups. And then even that dissolved at some point, because the thing is, when you're making connections through a negative thing like that, it's always going to dissolve. It's never going to get higher. It's never going to get more unified. When the sole source of that connection is through a dislike of something, it's not going to take very long before that's going to become a dislike for one another, and that's going to start breaking apart. And I actually thought, watching this in hindsight with a bit of distance on the issue, it was just a really apparent example of what happens when people en masse start connecting through hatred. They start to turn on one another and they start to fight with one another, and the hatred just becomes more internalized. It's why people that commit crimes and end up in jail very often then start fighting other criminals and fighting one another, because that hatred has got to go somewhere, right? If you have hatred, it's got to go somewhere. And if you lose being able to turn it to the person you originally were all focused on turning it to, then it's going to start happening between one another. And the sooner we look at that, the better, and we can start to come from a different place. And just a short little video today. I hope everyone's well, and share short little video today. I hope everyone is well, and I will speak soon. Bye bye.